One by one, supporters of the opposition Socialist Party being scrutinized at Twin Palm Police Station in Osaka as their president, Dr. Fred Member, makes an appearance following police summons.
We have a list of people. Excuse me.
However, not everyone could be allowed into the police station.
She has come a long way.
Here's what Dr. Member said to the media shortly after his arrival at the police station amidst tight security.
I can only say high grade desperation.
Okay. After an hour of police interrogation, police arrested Dr. Member and charged him with an offense of seditious practices. Dr. Member is accused of having said that the Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi paid $20 million to buy Zambia's silence.
And in that article, he did state that corruption is very widespread in Zambia. And he alluded to the fact of a $20 million that the Zambian government got, or the Zambian leadership got, through the president of DRC. The president, when he was being arrested, said that he's looking forward to getting to court so that these issues are laid out bare.
Police say he will remain in custody pending a court appearance.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to remind the public that the law will be applied firmly and fairly to all individuals, and any actions intended at or inciting or hatred or disaffection against the Republic of Zambia as established by law will be met with appropriate legal action.
Yes, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Kwame Gonza once again. Yes, so the news that is coming in today is that the opposition candidate, who is the president of the Socialist Party of Zambia, has been arrested. Of course, he was arrested and the government has him in custody. And of course, the allegation, as we have briefly heard, is that there is some level of collusion between the Zambian government and the government in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So these are the highlights of the article which he wrote. He wrote an article, of course, in it alleging that the Zambian government got about $20 million from the Democratic Republic of Congo so that they can be able to return any person who is, opposing the government in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me just pick up the article which the president Membe, wrote. But first of all, let us go to President Membe and understand who he is as a person who is Dr. Freddie Membe. We saw a video which went around when he was being he was part of the delegation which went to China to attend, a conference on, it was a conference or international forum on democracy in China. And that conference actually happened during a period when the United States also was calling another conference of democracy, especially, I think it was in the Caribbean, where it called together nations, which it called democracy. And of course, in its way in which it defines democracy. So China also was having its conference to talk about democracy and how we should define democracy, because everyone now, they have a way of defining this particular democracy. So on that particular conference, Dr. Fred Membe, who is the president of the Socialist Party of Zambia, got an opportunity to speak at that particular forum. So we want to listen to we want to listen to what he said during that period. And his speech went very viral, actually, when he spoke at that conference. Let us listen to some of his words.
There will be a conference in Lusaka, or a summit in Lusaka, Zambia, my country, led by the United States. They have come to Southern Africa to teach us democracy. A country that was opposed to our liberation, a country that supported colonial regimes, the apartheid regime in South Africa, the white racist minority regime in Zimbabwe, now Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, the Portuguese colonial governments in Mozambique, in Angola, in Guinea-Bissau, and Cape Verde, today is coming to Africa to teach us about democracy. A country that has toppled so many governments in Africa, that has led so many coups in Africa and other parts of the world, a country that has killed so many of our leaders in Africa and other parts of the world, the killers of Patrice Lumumba, those who toppled Kwame Nkrumah, those who killed Nasser, those who killed Muammar Gaddafi, today are coming to teach us about democracy. A country that has been built on brutal force, on enslavement of other human beings, on the humiliation of Africans, the exploitation of Africans, the plunder of Africa, today is coming to teach us about democracy.
So it is not an accident that the Zambian government, of course, has its eye on, Dr. Fred Membe in, in Zambia, due to the fact that he opposes the neoliberal policies of the Zambian government. So it is not, an accident. And also the fact that the Zambian government is in very much alliance, very much in alliance with the United States, and also, of course, supports Ukraine. We saw that recently the foreign ambassador or the foreign minister of Ukraine, when he came to Africa, one of the countries he visited, it is Zambia, and also Malawi, and of course also Mauritius. So it shows you, and of course we saw that Zambia voted, voted for Ukraine and against Russia at the United Nations. So the Zambia as a government is very much in the hands of the United States. Even Kamala Harris, the word salad, presidential contestant, presidential candidate, as many Americans call her. She's a word salad, presidential contestant in the United States. She visited Zambia when she came on her visit to the to the African, continent. Of course, she visited Ghana, she visited Tanzania, and also she visited Zambia. So it is no accident that a person of his stature, they see him as a threat. The United States and the neoliberal order, the puppet states, or of course, on the African continent, see Dr. Fred Membe as a threat. They definitely see him as a threat from what we are seeing. But let us see what he said. What did he say, about the government in Zambia that led to his arrest? What did he say to the government that led to his arrest? Let us look at what he said. This is a letter which, this is an article which he published. The article is called "Tshisekedi tells DRC bishops about the $20 million payout to buy Zambia's silence." All right, Tshisekedi tells DRC Catholic bishops about the $20 million payout to buy Zambia's silence. The article was written by, by Dr. Fred Membe on July 16th of 2024. What did he say? The article is the same heading as we are seeing, that Tshisekedi tells DRC Catholic bishops about the $20 million payout to buy Zambia salads. So he's saying, let us listen to what he's saying, what Dr. Fred Membe is saying here in this particular article, even though we may not finish the whole of it. So he's saying that it is very sad that Mr. Felix Tshisekedi, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, can no longer hide how he has extended his corruption and other abuses in the Democratic Republic of Congo to the whole region. That's what he is saying. This is Dr. This is what Dr. Membe is saying. That Tshisekedi has extended his corruption to the whole region, the eastern, the central and eastern region, of course, southern region as well. In a recent meeting with the Democratic Republic Catholic bishops, and visibly, they visibly annoyed Mr. Tshisekedi, divulged or told the Catholic bishops that no matter what they do in opposition to his corruption, repressive and scandalous regime, he has a total control of the region. He claimed that he had paid millions of dollars to the region's leaders, except Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who refused to take his money. All right. And that in Zambia, a sum of $20 million has been taken from Mr. Tshisekedi. He also bragged to the Catholic bishops that because of these huge payouts, none of his critics, political opponents, and their supporters, including former DRC Congo DR, president, who is Joseph Kabila, who is currently living outside, of course, the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think he's living in South Africa. Will be accommodated in any of these countries. Who is currently outside will not be so. So what he's saying is that all these opponents, including President Kabila, will not be accommodated in these countries where Tshisekedi has paid money. All right, or they will be returned back. They will be caught and returned back because of the money that Tshisekedi has used. We are worried. This is what Dr. Fred Membe is saying. We are worried about these revelations. We are worried that if nothing is done, the bells tolling on the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo will tomorrow toll down on us and our region. All right, especially us in Zambia, whose proximity to the Democratic Republic of Congo is much more, and whose leadership seem to have an insatiable appetite for dollars, and are also in a hurry to become millionaires and, if possible, billionaires. If a leader of a country can receive a sum of $20 million of unearned money as a personal gift from a leader of another country, whose people are very poor, and the country is in turmoil and engulfed in an intractable civil war, what does that mean? We had we had Mobutu Sese Seko, one of the most corrupt and senselessly tyrannical African leaders in history, flashing out millions of dollars. He had stolen from the people of Zaire, as the Democratic Republic of Congo was called then. But none of our leaders in the region took that money. They never took a cent from him. Tanzania's Mwalimu Julius Nyerere took nothing. Zambia's Kenneth Kaunda took nothing. Angola's Augusto Neto took nothing. Namibia's Sam Njoma took nothing. Botswana's Katumire Masire took nothing. Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe took nothing. Mozambique's Samora Machel took nothing. And even South Africa's Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki took nothing. But today, our leaders are stuffing their banks with millions, stolen from the poor Congolese people. This is what happens when principles are lost. This is what happens when values are lost. This is what happens when greed reigns supreme. The likes of Tshisekedi and those he is bribing are not leaders. They are something else, but not leaders. But as they say, it is just a matter of time before the chickens come home to roost. Those involved in this evil scheme shall pay the price and regret their greedy actions someday soon. We demand that the Zambian authorities come clean on Tshisekedi's huge payout claims. So what Dr. Membe actually is saying is that what he's saying is a reiteration of what appeared, in the news, what appeared, from what Tshisekedi, of course, said during his discussion with these so-called, bishops, Catholic bishops. So that is what Freddie Membe is, reiterating. But of course, the government responded with the arrest, and they said that he's carrying out sedition. That's what they say. They arrested him on charges of sedition. Let us look at the police, what it responded with. Of course, the police responded by saying that he's carrying out seditious activities, by saying the things which President Tshisekedi himself said in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Because we know Zambia is very close to the Democratic Republic of Congo. They share a border. So I will show you. I think there's one of our viewers last time mentioned that it is very good if we show you the map so that you can understand where these things are. Let me see. I will show you where Zambia is and where Democratic Republic of Congo, so that you can be able to appreciate the whole picture. Let me look at it here, and we will be able to get it. We will definitely be able to get it so that we can appreciate what it is. Now, let us first look at the police, of course, what he said. The Zambian police, is saying that they arrested and formally charged Dr. Freddie Membe, aged 65, for the offenses of seditious practices, contrary to Section 57, Article 1C, as read with Section 60, Article 1B of the Penal Code Act, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. It is alleged that on July 16th, 2024, between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. hours, Dr. Membe published an article on his Twitter and Facebook pages titled "Tshisekedi tells Democratic Republic of Congo, tells Democratic Republic of Congo Catholic bishops about the $20 million payout to Zambia silence." The content of this article is alleged to have been intended to bring into hatred. This is what the police is saying, of course. The police is saying that Dr. Freddie Membe, intended to bring hatred and contempt, or incite disaffection against the government as established by law. So they are saying that Dr. Freddie Membe is trying to incite the public against the government. They went on to say that Dr. Membe has been detained in police custody and is expected to appear in court soon to answer to the alleged laid charges against him. The Zambian Police Service wishes to remind the public that the law will be applied fairly, and fairly to all individuals, and any actions aimed at inciting hatred or disaffection against the government, as by law established, will be met with appropriate legal measures. So this is Rai Hamonga, who is the police public relations officer of Zambia. So this is what the police, of course, responded with. This is how the police responded to Dr. Freddie Membe's article. Let me see. Okay, so let me show you where, of course, Africa is, so that we can be able to appreciate where Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo are, to just appreciate what it is. All right. Let me bring it closer. Let me just bring it closer here so that everyone can be able to appreciate the African continent and Zambia where it is. So as we can see, the Democratic Republic of Congo is a huge country, huge country, and shares a lot of borders with Zambia. This is Zambia right here. As you can see, we have Zambia there. We have Democratic Republic of Congo. So this is just for your appreciation. This is just for your appreciation of where Zambia is. This is Zambia. They have a huge border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Very long one. So that is Zambia, basically. It borders Malawi on this side, on the eastern part, and it borders also Angola, and also it borders Zimbabwe on the south. as we are seeing here. It borders Zimbabwe on the south, Malawi on the east. In the northern part, it borders the Democratic Republic of Congo and also Tanzania. So that is what it is. This is where Zambia is, for those who want to really appreciate what it is. Now, to put some context to this situation, what do you think? I don't know what you think from your side, but of course, what we can conclude from what is happening in Zambia, and of course, one more thing is that the Socialist Party in Ghana, Socialist Party of Ghana, of course, came out to support Dr. Fred Membe in solidarity with Dr. Fred Membe. Let me see what the Socialist Party of Ghana said before I put some context on this, this event that happened. So they are saying the Socialist Movement of Ghana is saying that the Zambian police arrested and detained Comrade Fred Membe, leader and presidential candidate of the Socialist Party of Zambia, on charges of sedition. He was held incommunicado for at least 15 hours. On August 9th, his bail application was frustrated by the flimsy excuse that the police station chosen to prosecute, this process was closed for repair. Fred was returned to the cells for another night. The Zambian police intend to detain him over the weekend. We can only hope. So this is a letter which was written on the 8th of August by the Socialist Movement of Ghana in solidarity with with Dr. Fred Membe. We can only hope that the Zambian courts will intervene to protect his rights. His human rights, of course. Comrade Membe's offense is a newspaper article reporting an encounter between Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi and Catholic bishops in Kinshasa. President Tshisekedi allegedly boasted that he had purchased support from neighboring countries, except for President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe. This included a $20 million payout to Zambia. In return for this, Tshisekedi's domestic critics, opponents, including former President Kabila, seeking haven in the region, would be apprehended and sent back to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Of course, so that the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo can deal with them, so that the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo can deal with them, harshly. Anyone who criticizes Tshisekedi, and that is what is going on. So, Comrade Membe, demands that the Zambian authorities come clean on Mr. Tshisekedi's payout, and of course, this is what he demanded in the article. He himself, Membe, Dr. Freddy Membe, what he demanded actually was that they should come out clean. They should come and say whether they received the money or they did not. Because this is what President Tshisekedi, alleged, that he has bought out everyone in the region. So they are saying that Comrade Membe's arrest and detention without bail are political. The Hichilema administration, like so many regimes across the continent, seek to silence its critics and thereby end growing opposition to the neo-colonial exploitation it presides over. This is not the first time that Comrade Membe's, Socialist Party, who is the Socialist Party's presidential candidate and a prominent figure in the Pan-African struggle, has faced political harassment under, President Hichilema. He has been falsely accused of many crimes. He has been regularly defamed by Zambian state security, rough-shadowed, threatened with arrest, arrested and detained. Other leaders of the Socialist Party and their families too have been, faced, with harassment and physical assault. What also they themselves, they are saying, the Socialist Movement of Ghana, actually what it is saying is that the government should come clean, should come out and deny that they did not receive the money, as the President Tshisekedi has said, because President Tshisekedi himself is the one who came out to say that he gave out money in the region. This is what he said. He gave out and he said that except Zimbabwe, they are the ones who refused the money to cooperate with, with Tshisekedi. And of course, this puts a lot of question. But to put some context on this, from our side, what we can conclude from this is that we are in a struggle between, of course, neo-colonialism and Pan-Africanism. And as you had, one time when the French president was speaking, the issue imperialism shows very much that the biggest threat to it is Pan-Africanism. And that is why for us as a Pan-Africanists, Pan-Africanists, we insist that the continent must be unified, because all these puppets, all these clowns that we are seeing across the African continent are existing because the African people are not unified, because our continent is not unified. And this is what we are seeing. We have seen Hichilema in his appearance immediately when he came to power. We immediately saw him as a puppet president. We saw him immediately. How? When Ethiopia was having a challenge in the northern part, of the country, with the Tigray forces, disturbing the government and creating war and wanting to break out from the country. The United States was supporting, of course, the Tigray, rebels in the northern part of the country. Now, during this period, there was a claim by the West that the Tigray forces are marching on Addis Ababa. They are going to overthrow the government. So they removed out of all the countries, the United States and the Western world, they removed their people from the country during that period. All right. They removed their citizens from Ethiopia, claiming that the Tigray forces, the region has become unstable, the country has become unstable, the government is going to be overthrown. Now, there is only one country during that period in 2020, I think it was 2020 or 2021, during that period. It was during that period that we had this, problem. During this period, it is only Zambia which pulled out its citizens from Ethiopia and claimed that the place is unstable. Of all the countries in the region, including Uganda, including Kenya, all these, they have many citizens in Ethiopia. Actually, they have even a border. Some of these countries like Kenya, they have a border with Ethiopia. They never removed their citizens. Even Sudan, all right? Even the relationship, of course, between Sudan and Ethiopia has not always been smooth, but Sudan never pulled out its citizens. All right. Kenya never pulled out its citizens. Zambia pulled out its citizens from Ethiopia to follow the United States and the Western world and what they were doing. And of course, this for us, it was a red flag on the side of the new government in Zambia, of the government of Hichilema. And we immediately knew that this was a puppet government. So these puppet governments, most of the time, they are threatened. They feel threatened. These neo-colonial governments, they feel threatened by any Pan-African initiative that comes up. And therefore, right now, what we are seeing is that they feel threatened by the Socialist Party of Zambia because it holds Pan-African ideas, as you have seen, Dr. Membe speaking in China, when he was speaking on democracy in China. He was talking about the fact that the United States participated in the killing of our good leaders on the African continent. But then he's going around the continent and across the world claiming that he's preaching democracy, but it killed democratically elected leaders and even overthrew some of the democratically elected leaders. So what do you conclude? What can you conclude from this? Now, put your comments and your suggestions down in the comment section. And you have been, very supportive of this channel in the past, and all the videos we have, responded to the comments. Please put your comments and your suggestions in the comment section. What do you think we should do to support this struggle that is going on? We have seen struggle in Kenya. We have seen resistance in Nigeria, and we are seeing a lot of resistance. And of course, we are seeing also imperialism, fighting back. What should we do about it? How should we organize ourselves together to be able to fight this neo-colonialism and these puppet regimes all over the African continent, to be able to bring, of course, Pan-Africanism to power? What do you think we should do? How should we cooperate, both across the continent, the expanse of the land across the African continent, and also in the diaspora? We need to cooperate with the diaspora. Tell us what you need, in the comment section. Put your suggestions in the comment section and let us, discuss on it. We will respond to all the comments that will be posted, in the comment section. So this is what we are seeing, that this puppet regime of Hichilema, he's fearful and of course working with the United States. You remember that the United States also put its, office, which he called an office of the Africa Command, which is based in Germany, it put a military base. We can only call it a military base because even in Ghana, when they were putting the military base of the United States, they didn't call it a military base. They didn't say that it's a military base. So in Zambia also, they brought the military base of the United States, which is AFRICOM, to be based in Zambia. And we know that they want to fight against, of course, Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe has rejected the West, has rejected the exploitation of African resources. So there is an attempt to overthrow the government in Zimbabwe. So they brought this. And we have seen, of course, a strained relationship between the government of Zimbabwe even, and the government of Zambia. We saw recently the comments which President Emerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, he made when he was in Moscow and meeting with President Putin. He made certain comments that Zambia has become a complete puppet state. So he made those comments, of course, which infuriated a lot of people, especially those from Zambia. But what the people in Zambia have to understand, even those ones who are in support of the government, is that the future of the continent, is hinged on us working together. The future of the African continent is hinged on us working together and not supporting the puppet states, regardless of whether that puppet state is within your particular country. So this is very important to note. So the fact that the United States was able to bring its military base to Zambia, part of it, which is based in Germany, Stuttgart, which is called the Africa Command, US Africa Command, United States Africa Command, which is just a military base to monitor Africa and enforce colonialism, United States colonialism on the African continent. Now it's based in Zambia. So that in itself for us, it's cemented, and that this was done last year, I think. So for that, for us, it cemented the fact that Zambia is a puppet state, and the leader currently, is a complete puppet of the United States. And of course, we saw a lot of other things that have been happening. We spoke about Kamala Harris, how she came, and we saw also there's a railway platform that is being built between Zambia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and also the Zambia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Angola. All right, there's a railway line there which is called the Lobito Corridor, and that railway line they say is being financed by the United States, in which they say, of course, the United States itself, it claims that this railway line is for helping Africa. All right, helping Africa's infrastructure. Of course, that is the claim, but we know very well that it is for taking the copper from Zambia, Democratic Republic of Congo. There's cobalt and copper. And the United States is competing, of course, with China. We know that when it comes to the manufacturing of electric vehicles. That is why the United States also put, a lot of tariffs, 100% tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, because they are trying to build their own electric vehicle industry, of course, together with Europe, so that they can be able to compete with China, so that Chinese products will not be able to flood their markets. And they need the copper. All right, they need the copper and they need the cobalt to make those magnets, which are used in the motors. And of course, the copper itself is also used in the motors. Electric vehicles require more of copper and cobalt and other minerals like lithium. And that is why, of course, they are worrying, Democratic, they're worrying Democratic Republic of Congo, but also Zimbabwe. They are worrying Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe also has a lot of lithium deposits. So they want to extract these resources using this railway platform called the Lobito Corridor, to which Zambia, of course, is part. Democratic Republic of Congo is part, and it goes all the way through Angola and falls into and then it will go through Angola and to all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, which is in the Gulf of Guinea, close to Africa, and then they will be able to take Africa's resources to the United States, and that's what that railway platform is about. Let me show you slightly so that you can be able to appreciate where that railway project is going to pass. So this is Zambia as we are seeing it. So they want that railway project to go through Democratic Republic of Congo, go through Angola, and go all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, go all the way here, which is called, this space is called the Gulf of Guinea. So from Zambia, take the copper, take the cobalt and copper from here and other minerals, and go through Angola and go to the ocean. So the railway platform itself is not really for helping Africa in any way. So then this shows you, this gives you a very clear picture for you to see that the railway that they are trying to build, which of course I will come and do an analysis, because I've written a very long article to talk about this railway platform and the fact that They want to use it to extract Africa's resources. So this is what we are seeing. The Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia is here, Angola is here. They want to take these resources and just take them to the United States, as you are seeing the map. You are seeing the map of the United States where it is, and you are seeing where this space is. So the railway itself is about the resources. And of course, Zambia is part of that particular project without even asking questions, of course, which is very unfortunate on our side as Africans. But then we need to do something about it. We need to contribute. We need to conscientize our people. We need to push our people. We need to push our people so that they can be able to understand what is going on across, the continent. And we need to put, work in. We need to put in work, because this is not going to be simple. Just like what I always remind you, our viewers, is that Franz Fanon, one of great African patriots, said that every generation must find its mission and fulfill that mission or betray that mission. All right. So our mission in this generation also, just like the generation which fought against slavery, in the Caribbean, and of course this defeat of slavery by countries like Haiti, San Domingo, led to the liberation of all the black people across the world. That slavery was stopped because of this defeat, since Haiti defeated, was able to defeat, France, Britain, and Spain all together. So this led, to a change in mind by the colonialists, so they changed their minds. And what did they do? How did they do it? So these are the questions I think we have to ask ourselves also, and see how we can confront the challenges of our time, because they also had challenges of their time. Now, when we go to people like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah also, they had their own challenges. George Padmore, all these people who brought together, the Pan-African Congress in Manchester. Mostly it was the Caribbean who were fighting. I mean, mostly it was the African diaspora who were fighting for the continent. Of course, Amy Ashwood Garvey, Honorable Marcus Garvey himself, and all the others who fought for the continent. All right. So this consciousness now has to come to the African continent, and within our generation also. Just like those who fought against colonialism and slavery, we have to realize also, our generation, that we have a mission, and we have to build on what they accomplished. So we cannot lag behind and stay behind and claim that the things are very hard for us. Therefore, we cannot do anything, that the enemy is too powerful. The enemy was even much more powerful during the slavery time, when our people did not have anything, did not have any means of communication, did not have any business, did not have any jobs and stuff like that. They were just slaves. But how did they do it? The Nkrumahs did not have any, these people did not have any communication means like what we have today. How did they achieve whatever they achieved? The likes of Nkrumah, they did not have jobs, they did not have businesses, many of them. They were just people who were colonized in these states. But how were they able to achieve it? So we need to ask ourselves these questions, and then attend to the mission of our generation, which is the liberation of the African continent, because it is the liberation of the African continent that is going to bring about, a new sense of respect, a new sense of respect of ourselves, but also the dignity from other people. Our dignity will be restored as a people, as black people across the world. Our dignity will be restored only if the African continent is rebuilt and is very strong, as we have seen in the past. Recently, we saw that, Serena Williams, I think she was at the Paris Olympics, and they discriminated against her. They refused to allow her into a restaurant. And this is simply because she's black. There's no way out. This is just simply because she's black. And there is one of our brothers, O'Shea Duke, Michael, I think it's O'Shea Duke Jackson or something like that, who is running a channel on YouTube called Kenganda, mentioned about it, that Serena Williams got her, Negro wake up moment. So all these things are happening because the black people are disrespected across the world. Across the board, black people are disrespected. And that is simply because the African continent is in a state where it is that anyone can enter and take whatever they want. The United States can enter and put up military bases wherever it can, wherever it wants. All right. So that is the problem, that the black people are not respected across the board. Now we have to build the African continent, and everyone of the Africans, whether you are living on the continent or in the diaspora, you have to do whatever you can, as much as you can, to make a contribution to that process. Because whether you like it or not, you are an African, whether you are living in a diaspora, whether you are living on the continent, Caribbean, anywhere, you know, you are an African and you are people of African descent. So until we have that continent, you know, put in place, until we have our continent, you know, in a space where it will be respected by the rest of the world, it will be very difficult, you know, for us as individuals, even in the various countries where we are, you know, to be respected. Therefore, we have to work together. And this is what our ancestors understood. The likes of Marcus Garvey, the likes of Malcolm X, you know, the likes of, you know, George Padmore. These guys, some of them who had never even stepped on the African continent, they fought the most. They understood this very well. And therefore, we need to go back and revisit the understanding of our ancestors. But what do you think? What do you think? What do you think we should do? How do you think we should do it? Please put your suggestions in the comment section and let us continue with this discussion about the rebuilding of the African continent. You know, it has been news about, you know, the Zambian opposition. And of course, this is a continuation of that process of struggle. What we are seeing is that the struggle on the continent itself is intensifying. The struggle is intensifying. The struggle against neocolonialism and the puppet states is intensifying. No doubt, no doubt, the struggle is, you know, is intensifying. So, what do you think that we should do to contribute? Please like the video and share it with others. You know, Marlene Dallas, please, thank you so much for the contribution. Thank you for the contribution that you gave to the channel. Thank you for supporting Connect Africa. Please continue to support Connect Africa in all ways. Please like the video and share it with others. Share the video with others. And thank you for being part of the platform. Like the channel. We are 40 people. Please give us those 40 likes. Give us all those 40 likes. Kindly give us those 40 likes. Yeah, so we want to thank you. We appreciate you. Like and share with others this platform. And please subscribe if you are new to the platform. My name is Kwame Gonza and the platform is called Connect Africa. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.